Roy from Roy's Garage. Today I'm going to be working on a 2012 Subaru Outback. I'm going to show you how to replace the front brake pads and rotors. These are the tools I'm going to be using today to do this job. A hood prop, rubber mallet, 3/8 ratchet, 10mm socket, a 14 and a 17mm wrench, 10mm wrench, two different types flat tip screwdriver, an air gun, dual caliper piston compressor, Phoenix brake flusher, penetrating oil, brake clean, anti-seize, ceramic grease, suction ball, and a bottle of water with a hole on the top. These are the parts I'm going to be using today to do this job. Front brake pads, front rotors, and .3 brake fluid. So first we're going to be removing the rubber plug, loosening the bleeder screw, oh, this guy's tight. Okay, now the bleeder screw is loose. Removing the caliper, 2 bolts, one here and one here. Removing the pads. Removing the caliper mount, there's 2 bolts, one here and one here. Removing the rotor. I'm going to be hitting it with my rubber mallet. So I'm going to be compressing the piston in with my caliper piston compressor. Open up my bleeder screw to let the fluid come out. Yeah, you don't want that dirty fluid going back up to the master. I'm going to be cleaning my rotors with some brake clean. If you notice, this is a coated rotor. Leave the coating on, don't remove it. When you first road test this vehicle, you're going to hear a grinding sound. That's the coating coming off. So after a few miles, eventually the grinding is going to stop. Then you'll be good to go. So before we put the rotor on, put some anti-seize around the hub. Put the rotor on. And just hold this rotor down with just 2 nuts so it doesn't wobble too much. So I'm going to be lubricating the caliper mount. First we're going to be removing these pins. Just clean it up. Okay, with my ceramic grease, put some grease right in here. Grease up the pins. Put it in. Sometimes these pins get a hard time going in because there's this rubber piece right here, but you gotta kind of like wiggle it in and eventually it will go in. Lubricating the shims. The new pads come with new shims. If you try to reuse that new shim, a lot of times it doesn't fit good in the caliper mount. Then the shim would want to fall off. So if you can reuse your old shim, just reuse it. Nothing wrong with reusing this old shim. Installing the mount. Tightening up the mount. Okay, if you notice, these pads have these anti-rattler springs. You're going to have one on the inside and one on the outside, and these go on the bottom of the caliper. So when you mount this spring has to go on the outside. Just like that. And same on the inside. So I'm gonna be putting on some ceramic grease, the back side of this pad. Gonna rub it around. So lubricating the caliper. Okay, sliding the caliper on. And bolt it up. Now we're going to be flushing out the brake. I'm going to be removing the brake fluid from the master cylinder reservoir. So first I got to remove the screen. And sucking out the brake fluid. Suck out as much as you can. I stick a vacuum hose in here. So I'm going to be flushing out this brake system using my Phoenix brake flusher. So I'm going to be opening up the bleeder screw, pumping some fresh fluid from the caliper up to the master, pumping about half a bottle of brake fluid per wheel. Tightening up the bleeder screw. So I'm going to be sucking out the brake fluid from the master cylinder again. Okay, I'm gonna be filling up the master cylinder, putting back my screen. Now we're gonna be bleeding the brakes. I'm gonna start up the vehicle, pump the brake up and down, no more than halfway until you feel pressure. Okay, that feels good. Now we're going to be pressurizing the brake system with my hood prop. One side against the brake pedal, the other side against the seat. So I'm going to be opening up the bleeder screw to check for air. It looks perfect. Tighten it up. Shoot some water on the brake fluid. The brake fluid is water soluble. With my air hose, I'm going to be drying it off. So now I'm going to be pressurizing my brake system one more time. So I'm going to be repressurizing the brake system again. So I have the brake system pressurized for about 10-15 seconds or so. Checking for any leaks. The guy looks nice and dry. Put your rubber cap on. Release the hood prop, top off your master cylinder, and you're good to go. So that's how you replace front brake pads and rotors. If you have any questions, comment below. Make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video. Aloha.